we're always going to be disappointed when we put our hope in the created thing instead of the creator.
Yeah.
So even on Christmas morning, if we've put all of our hope in the fact that these gifts are going to make our kids happy and,
right.
I mean, honestly, on the dark side of it, like, love us more.
Oh, agreed. Yeah. Mom, you're awesome.
Yeah.
This was awesome.
Yes. You know,
Yeah.
If we ever are putting our hope into that for ourselves or our kids, we're going to feel disappointed.
Yeah. Hey moms, and welcome back to the Gather Moms podcast. We are celebrating something really big today.
Really big.
Really big. Are you so excited?
I am so excited, and also just like a little like, what?
I mean, I think it means that we are officially official. Professionals.
Yeah. You want to tell them what it is?
We have hit a milestone on the Gather Moms podcast, episode 200. What?
Wow. How did we do it?
I never dreamed.
No.
I really didn't. Like, I've never dreamed about that.
No, absolutely not. I can't believe we're here. We started this little thing in the COVID era, and
Our COVID baby. It's
yeah,
our COVID baby.
it is our COVID baby, and we've just kept going, and we're so glad you're here.
Thank you for staying with us so long.
Yes.
I know people that are just now finding out about it, so they're starting back at 1.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a long way to go.
No, and you want to tell them, just skip COVID.
Yes.
Just skip, because the whole,
Yes.
like, first 6 episodes are all COVID, I think.
Only the first 6?
I think so. We were
Oh.
just surviving that, and then we started getting into other stuff.
I know, but I might tell them to skip to like 120. Like, I feel like that's a long way to go.
Wow.
You could be listening a long time.
I don't know, guys. We're really spitting a lot of gold here, so I would hate for you to miss 120 episodes of that.
Well, listen, we are officially in the Christmas season,
Yes.
which is one of my favorite times on the podcast because we get to talk about our favorite things.
Yes.
And I have so many favorite things.
Okay, can I tell you, in honor of 200 episodes and it being our Christmas episode, one of 2, it's a 2-part series.
Yes.
I have a surprise.
Ooh, what's your surprise?
Okay.
Wait, like an actual surprise?
An actual
that
surprise.
you didn't tell me about?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Okay, let me see if I can get it. Okay. I got us something festive to wear
On the podcast?
while we record.
Okay.
It's to be festive. Now,
I love it.
let me tell you, this one's a reindeer with a little bow. She's very cute. This one is a Christmas tree.
Oh, there's something fancy here.
And it lights
I love
up.
it. I love it.
So you get to pick.
Well, duh, you know exactly what I'm going to pick. I want the light up one.
Okay.
Yes, girl.
Before you came over, my daughter was like, which one is Miss Rebecca going to pick?
You knew. Didn't you know?
Well, I figured it was the light up, but I thought you might like the bow on the...
I mean, I love the bow.
On the little
but
reindeer
whenever
girl.
you give me options for like glitter, light, flash, I'm all in.
Okay.
So if people are listening, they can't see our fun headbands.
Well, you'll have to go to youtube.com.
Ooh, a little plug there.
Go
That was a
watch us
perfect
on
segue.
the YouTube so you can see our little headbands.
You know, I really feel like when we started at episode 1, you were not a headband girl. I feel like you've made progress.
I have made progress. And then I went into, like, I think I wore headbands a lot, but then I think I'm kind of not wearing them anymore again.
Listen, there was one year that you wanted this special headband.
Yes.
Plaid? Was it plaid?
Yeah, Christmas plaid.
Christmas plaid. Yeah. And you got it.
I did.
And you wore it?
Yeah.
You're going to wear it again this year?
I think I wear it at Christmas. It was like one of those bougie, oh my gosh, here in Dallas, we've got some bougie
Yeah.
headband brands.
But it was not like glittered or
No,
it was just cute plaid.
Just, I don't know, but still, like, why are we paying that much for a headband? These, by the way, are from Walmart, and they were $5.
And can be reused multiple years
Yes.
over and over.
Yes.
Yes. Which, moms, this is your PSA. If you have not bought Christmas headband, Christmas necklace, Christmas sweatshirt, Christmas pajama pants, you should go and do that now.
Today is
because your
the
kid's
day.
going to need it for something
Yeah.
in the next 25
Yeah,
days.
go to the dollar store
Yes.
or whatever. Get it on Amazon.
That was one of those things early in motherhood. I didn't know you were supposed to have these things like waiting in the wings
Yeah.
so that when they sit home Thursday night, tomorrow's Christmas pajama day, you were like ready because
I
you
know.
didn't know you had to be ready.
Well, and the hope is that maybe they could wear the Christmas pajamas from last year, but then you go to put it on them and it's like high waters. You know,
Yeah.
it's like 5 inches off their ankle. And you're
Yes.
like, okay, well, now I'm running to Walmart or Carter's. I don't know, you know.
I miss Carter's.
Yeah.
We're
So-
gonna talk about baby gifts today. We
Okay,
can all do a
let's
little
go.
throwback to Carter's.
Let's go.
Okay, so I love Christmas because presents.
Yes.
And if you've been with us on the podcast for a while, yes, I have already started shopping. Yes, I am almost done. Yes, I have bought everything on sale. I cannot wait to give these presents. They are hid all over my house, which means I'm probably going to forget where I hid them. So somebody's going to not get something I intended
You
for
hide
them
them
to
all
get.
over the house?
Well, I don't have enough room in one closet, so I have to
What
spread
if
them
you
out.
forget?
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I do, and then I find it post-Christmas.
That's hilarious.
So I'm trying to be better about remembering where I hide the gifts.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've already got a bunch.
Everything is all in our master closet, but it just gets to be a real mess by
Yes.
by the time we get to Christmas.
But my kids go in my master closet
Well,
all the time.
That's
so-
fine, but I tell them, no, do not look.
Well,
You look, you don't get it.
I love to surprise people. It's my favorite.
I know, and you're good at it.
So let's talk about some of our current favorite Christmas gifts this year.
Okay.
Do you have any? Do you have a wish list, Kate? What is on your Christmas wish list?
So my stepmom likes to buy us like one extravagant thing.
I love that word, extravagant.
And so I picked out my new Viore outfit for Christmas.
Okay.
So like a
Isn't
new...
that the shoe thing? Or is that not
No,
a shoe?
I'm actually wearing... I didn't
Okay.
really mean to do a Viore ad. Viore, if you want to sponsor the Gather Moms podcast.
Yes. Send us free stuff, please.
But they're the only joggers I can wear because I'm short. And like most joggers, when I wear them, they like bunch all up at the end.
Yeah.
These are actually like for little shortykins.
Yes.
You can get them long if you're a long girl.
Yes.
Or you can get them short. And anyway, so, but it's a splurge gift. And so anyway, I asked for one new outfit.
Fun.
There's I did not come prepared for this. I know, I'm sorry.
You
I
are
knew
the
what we
one
were
that
talking
prepped
about.
me ahead of time.
I know. There's a diffuser brand that I love so much. I'm going to have to look it up and put it
The
in the
thing
show
that
notes.
spits out the like
Okay.
smoke.
No, the reeds.
Oh, the reeds. Okay.
There's one that I love so much that's actually really good and works, and so that's on my list. But it's not cheap. I put things on there that I'm like, I would not buy this for myself. This is what I really want. I'm asking Jeremy to get my car detailed for Christmas.
That's a great gift. That's a winner.
Yeah.
Wives, tell your husbands to do that for you. That's a winner.
Right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm not great at gift giving. And my gifts are typically very practical, where yours are just like, can be like fun and whimsy.
I love whimsy too.
Yeah. So, anyway, okay, so tell us about yours. It's going to be much more exciting.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it's that much more exciting, but it's so funny what you just mentioned because my current joggers I'm wearing are from Costco.
Perfect.
I've had them for like 4 years. I think they're shrinking. They keep getting shorter. Maybe they would work for you now.
Well,
I passed them on to you.
I bought some from Costco because I saw them on you 4 years ago.
I love
And
them.
I was like, hey, these are great. And then I went to put them on, and then there's just all this
Bunchy
extra
bunch.
room. Yeah.
Yes. So because they're a little shorter now, there's this new thing called ruffle socks.
Yes, girl, you are rocking the ruffle socks, and they're very cute.
So they're, I mean, you have to like the ruffle.
Yeah.
You do, because not everybody does.
I don't think I can pull it off.
I didn't think you could, but that's okay. I'm going to wear the ruffle for us.
Okay.
And I just think they're really fun. Got them off of Amazon.
I am about to try to venture into putting the socks on top of my leggings as it
Yes.
has gotten colder. I
love
haven't
that.
tried it yet.
I love that.
I feel like we've had enough time with it that I'm not going to look like I'm a try
No,
hard.
you're going to look adorbs.
So we're going to try it.
Yes, you
We're
should.
gonna try it.
You should definitely do that. So last year I asked Greg for the hair dryer,
Yes, girl.
not the Dyson, the Shark,
Yeah.
and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Life-changing. Still 1 year later, I love this contraption.
Fantastic.
But this year, I think I want a red light mask.
Okay, great.
So I've seen these around. I
Yeah.
feel like it's not super new. It's been here
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps talking about it.
Yeah.
And I'm a pretty simple skincare. Like, I love my Palmers, which that's on my favorites list too. Y'all, it is like so cheap and so easy. So I'm like, maybe a red light would help extend this beautiful skin of mine.
Absolutely. I really think that's great. That's a great thing to ask for. I have like a little red light wand.
Okay, so I've seen the wands.
Yeah.
But then the mask feels like you said, for Christmas, if you're going to ask for something,
yeah.
ask for the mask.
Well, and the wand, and I'm not very consistent with it. I think all those things is hard because so I sit in my bed, and it's usually like the Sunday, like big shower day, like an everything shower and stuff. And then I sit in my bed and I you put like, your hyaluronic serum on, and then you just do the wand, blah, blah, blah. And it's warm.
Okay, so I feel like we've reached that point in our life where it's like one day a week you actually shower well.
Yeah.
Take care of your skin and body, shave, do all the things. But the rest of the week, it's a free-for-all.
We're just getting by.
Like, I might rinse off, but I don't got time for nothing else.
No, it's pretty quick.
I just think I showered more as a young mom.
I mean, yes and no. I don't know. But still the everything shower. I don't know that I was, it just takes time to do all that. And now I have way more skincare stuff. Yes. Like, you used to be able to just like go to bed and maybe you washed your face. I mean,
please wash your face.
Well, hopefully you did, but I'm just saying, but it wasn't like a, deal breaker. But now it's like, girl, you better wash your face. You better put that retinol cream on.
Little pimple patch here and there.
Listen, you better take care of it or you're going to be suffering the consequences.
I did get this face sheet mask.
Yeah.
For my birthday, and I was going to use it the other night, like right before bed, and it said you're supposed to leave it on for 4 hours.
Maybe do you sleep with it?
I know, but I sleep a little crazy.
Yeah.
I can't be sleeping with
4
that.
hours.
So I couldn't do it. I feel like I need to find like a day to do the face mask.
Girl.
I've never heard of that.
You're going to be still for 4 hours. And I see
thought
like
they were all like 20 minutes.
I see influencers wake up in the morning with like their under eye patches still on. I'm like, those would not stay on my face.
I don't sleep still.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all over the place.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes. Okay. So we are going to post some of our favorite things in the comments.
And do some giveaways to celebrate 200 episodes.
Who wants ruffle socks? That's what I want to know. Somebody's getting them. Not Kate. Please tell us if you don't want ruffle socks, because I think they're fabulous.
Yeah, you can pick your prize. We're going to do a pick your prize. I think
That's
they
even
should.
Better.
Pick your prize of our favorite things.
That is even better.
Yes.
Okay, I love that. Okay, but you can't put Viori on the...
So sorry.
We love them,
This is going to be like a $20 and under situation.
Yeah, no, we can't be doing that. So I love Christmas also because of the Christmas story, the nativity. It's just all so wonderful. Every year, you kind of get there and think, oh, well, I already know it. But then if you dig, mamas, there's always something new that comes out of the Christmas story every year, or just a new experience in motherhood that makes you connect differently with Mary or the story. So today we're going to talk about the Magi bringing the Christmas gifts to Jesus, since we're talking about gift giving, and I love a good gift. Because I do think sometimes when we read about it, we're like, those are interesting choices.
Absolutely.
Interesting choices.
Yeah.
So let's talk about just the setup of the story. So Scripture tells us that Jesus was born in Bethlehem to Mary and Joseph. Kate and I on past podcasts have toyed with who was actually there at the birth, because I kind of like the idea that it was more than just Mary and Joseph.
Yeah.
I feel like there was maybe some families, some strangers, some animals. We got shepherds. The angels were there. I mean, it was a party. So I love the idea of thinking about, because I always grew up thinking she was all by herself. And I don't know, when I get to heaven, she can tell me yes or no if she was, but I think there might have been more people there.
Yeah.
But, when the shepherds come to see baby Jesus, he is described as a babe. So we know it was the night of his birth. But then when we fast forward to the Magi, it's actually a different word that's used, and it means young child.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of scholars that think anywhere from maybe like several months up to 2 years later is when these Magi have arrived. And it also says that they came to the house.
Yeah.
So we think Mary and Joseph, stayed in Bethlehem and got a place to live and were raising, baby Jesus.
Which is so interesting to me because, as we were both preparing to talk about this specific part of the story, I'm like, why did they stay in Bethlehem? Why didn't they go back to Nazareth? But there was clearly some reason, but they did stay there. And we know, Joseph's family was from there and everything, but it's just interesting to me.
Me too.
And the other thing that confirms that he was under 2 years, but older than a baby timeline is the fact that once Herod does find out, he says to kill every little boy that's 2 years or younger.
Yes.
So he knows that there's a time frame that this child would have been born in. And so that kind of helps us indicate too.
Yes. But we don't know exactly how old he was when the Magi came.
Yeah.
So it's a little belated baby shower, I feel like. But you know what? In this day and age, I would take a shower any day. Like, let's do another wedding shower 25 years later. Let's go.
Yeah.
I could use some new crock pot. I actually bought a crock pot again.
Did you really?
Greg said you already have one. I said, I know, but it's old. I want a new one.
Did you throw out the old one?
Yes, in the trash.
That's so funny. Mine's old. It's got a little crack in it, so I just put the liners in it.
Yeah.
But I need a new one, too.
Oh, I bought it. It's Black Friday. Come on.
Oh, good
Get
for
it, girl.
you.
Get it. Yes. Okay, so we're going to pick up in Matthew chapter 2, verse 9 through 11. It says, And behold, the star that they had seen when it rose went before them until it came to rest over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy, and going into the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother, and they fell down and worshipped him. Then opening their treasures, they offered him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And this is where, again, we always assume 3 gifts, 3 magi, but we don't know for sure. It could have been a whole caravan, like a whole bunch of guys.
And likely was, right? Yes. It makes more sense that all the, that they traveled, which would have probably taken them a few weeks.
Yes.
That they wouldn't have just gone.
Servants.
3 guys.
Tents.
Yes.
I mean, a whole load of things.
Yeah. And these were important guys, so
Yeah.
they would have had servants and an entourage and all of that.
Agreed. So, I don't know. As a child, I think it's sweet and simple to see the nativity set up with the wise men and everything. And then I think that's just one of the beautiful things about Scripture. The longer you study it and the more you read it, the more you kind of have this bigger vision for what
Absolutely.
could be.
Yeah.
So interesting, the Magi are commonly associated with the Parthian Empire. So that's actually what we would call present-day Iran.
Okay.
And so it's possible that they came from this area, which would explain, and this is what's so interesting, their familiarity with the Old Testament. Because we know that during the captivity of the Israelite people, the Jewish nation, they were in Babylon. Mm-hmm. And they were taken from their homeland, so they would have taken all their scriptures and things that they had with them. So there's a very good likelihood that these wise men would have studied the scriptures, and they would know the prophecies about Jesus.
And potentially that Daniel was the one to bring all of this and to influence them, and there were clear prophecies.
Yes, and so they had been studying Scripture. I read a new connection in my study for this. We always look to the book of Isaiah because it talks so much about the coming Messiah, but I never read this particular passage in Isaiah, but it comes from Isaiah chapter 60. And in verse 3 it says, And nations shall come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your rising. And even at Jesus' birth, he was drawing the nations to himself because these are magi from afar that are coming. Mm-hmm. And then in verse 6, it says, A multitude of camels shall cover you. The young camels of Midian and Ephah, all those from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and frankincense and shall bring good news, the praises of the Lord. Mm-hmm. So then we think about these gifts that these magi have brought and like what would have been the reasoning behind gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Yeah.
Maybe from studying the scriptures, they saw this, and so they brought gifts that they thought would be appropriate for this
Interesting
baby king.
Yeah.
But then also these gifts just represent royalty. So in that day and age, I mean, blessed, they didn't get pacifiers and swaddle blankets and cute onesies.
Yeah.
They got gold, frankincense, and myrrh, which, to each their own.
No, but it's hilarious because if you're Mary and these, guys roll in with this huge storm of, we assume they're on camels, which is interesting because it only tells us in Isaiah that they're on camels. It doesn't actually say it in the Matthew or Luke piece that they were on camels, but everything you picture in your mind, right?
Yes.
They're always on camels, so whatever. But, to have this huge, cacophony of this group of people show up at your house and they're there to celebrate the baby and you're like, okay, let's go.
What'd
We
you
got a new
get?
monitor, and it's like, no, they didn't come with food.
No.
They didn't
No
come
casseroles.
So
I don't know. Maybe they brought food too. That's the thing. We don't know if they brought
that's true.
other things.
That's true.
So they could have brought other things to Mary and Joseph, not just these 3 gifts. Again, because of our familiarity with the nativity story, we just assume it's 3 wise men, 3 gifts.
Yeah.
They're always holding these boxes.
Yeah.
In the little nativity scene. It's like these little treasure boxes, know. But, okay, so I researched the gifts because I thought it was so interesting, too. Why these specific gifts? So I'm a middle school Bible teacher. In the fall, we go through the Old Testament in my class, and so we've, of course, been talking about the tabernacle. And we kind of hunkered down in that this year. I had my students create replicas of all the tabernacle furniture. We talked about what it was made out of and the reasoning behind it. So this was so cool for God to show me this as I was studying, that these 3 things actually are part of the tabernacle requirements. And so just seeing a big picture, the tabernacle in the Old Testament was God's presence with the people. It's where he dwelled. And so what's so exciting about Jesus coming is that it's him dwelling in person with his people. So it honestly makes so much sense that these 3 gifts remind us of him dwelling with his people in the wilderness.
Absolutely.
As they wandered. And so we don't often study the tabernacle that much, but there really is so much meaning behind it. So let's take, for instance, the frankincense. So frankincense is produced by scraping the bark of a certain type of tree, and then it's burned as incense, and it creates this very strong and beautiful aroma. The burning of frankincense was closely associated with ceremonial worship of a deity, so of a king. And so in the tabernacle, they would actually use frankincense to burn on the altar of incense, which was inside the tabernacle in the holy place, and it was to represent the prayers of the people going up to God.
Wow.
So Exodus 30, 34 through 37 talks about a specific recipe. So that's so interesting. God gave them so many specifics in regards to the tabernacle. And so they had to make it just like it said, but it included pure frankincense. And so I love that picture that the altar of incense was our prayers going up to God, and the Magi are bringing this to Jesus as a prayer for him to be the next Messiah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then myrrh. Myrrh is a fragrant spice derived from the sap of a tree, also native to the Near East, and it was used as a perfume and anointing oil. And so we also find this in Exodus 30, where Moses is given a specific recipe to anoint the priests. So the priests were, of course, the very special people that got to go into the holy place. The high priest, the only one to go in the Holy of Holies. And so they were, it took great time and care for them to prepare themselves before they entered. And so this was a specific anointing oil. The perfume included myrrh, cinnamon, olive oil, other things. And so this was another part of the tabernacle. And so they're bringing this to Jesus, who we know will be the last high priest, because he will go to the cross on our behalf.
Yeah.
And then, of course, gold, which gold... It's so funny. Gold feels like, oh, of course there was gold. There's always gold when you have a king. But when you study the tabernacle again, everything was gold. Yeah. Everything. It was everywhere. Which today, if we saw that much gold in one place, I don't think we'd know what to do with ourselves. Yeah. Because gold is actually worth a lot today. Yeah. Like, people don't just have it laying around. Yeah. Which if they do, you should burn that down and sell it, because that's good money.
Absolutely.
But the Ark of the Covenant, which was in the Holy of Holies, was covered in gold. And the Ark was said to be the place where God's presence dwelt. Yeah. And so for us as believers, we can see the beautiful meaning behind these gifts that they're bringing to Mary and Joseph. And if they are, Magi from a far off land, they potentially don't have a relationship with God at this point. They just know about gods, and they've studied about this particular king in Scripture. But for them, they were trying to bring things that would be meaningful to this, again, a child, not even sitting on a throne, but just a child sitting potentially on the floor of his house next to his mother. Yeah. And they're bringing these costly, costly gifts to Mary and Joseph. And I know sometimes, if you can think back to your baby shower, maybe if you received, an outfit that you're like, oh, this is so nice, but you're like, oh, my child's never going to wear this. Yeah. I just wonder what it must have felt for her to receive these gifts. Was it something that you were like, oh my goodness, I can't believe we're getting this. Yeah. Because they were poor. Yeah. Poor, young married couple living in this house in Bethlehem. What would it have meant to them to have received these precious treasures?
Well, yeah. And I think about how, I've talked about how my gift giving is always so practical. It's when we think about a baby shower, we're giving them things they can use. Mm-hmm. These gifts weren't necessarily, that wasn't their purpose. These gifts were to celebrate and, recognize who this person was. And so it's just a different way of thinking about it too, that it didn't have to be something that they used, which I think is really neat, that it was just again, extravagance. It was just this celebration, and you had to use the most costly items for that.
Yeah. And then, of course, I wonder, how long did they stay? Did they hang out? Did they camp out on the outskirts of Bethlehem? I mean, we know that they ended up leaving a different way and not going back to Herod. We know that part of the story, but I don't know, like, was it an hour?
Yeah.
Was it an afternoon?
Well, yeah, because I mean, Bethlehem, right? There wasn't, it's,
No, there's nothing to do.
It's like a town you drive through and there was one light, there was maybe a McDonald's or something, but, there's not anything going on in Bethlehem. One of the things I think is cool about that is that potentially a lot of scholars believe that they were able to use that gold is what they were helped finance them escaping to Egypt when that edict from Herod comes down and he's going to kill all the baby boys. And so even if that wasn't their plan, like you said, they were very poor. And so then for them to have this opportunity where God provided for them is really neat.
No, and I think that just reminds us that God always knows our needs before we do. And so many times, you have so many people, that have stories of money and things just showing up at the right time.
Yep, absolutely.
Even in Scripture in these days, God was meeting people's needs in the moments that they needed it. And Mary and Joseph had no idea they needed the gold or that they were going to escape to Egypt when they received it.
Yeah.
But what a precious way for God. Again, I love so much of the story of Mary and baby Jesus to me is God's kindness to her and the ways that he shows up for her. Because it feels so heavy to me to be a teenage, girl having this Messiah. So this to me is just another evidence of his kindness to her. Like, Mary, I've got you and I've got this baby and we're going to take care of you. So yeah, that I was going to go on to say that Matthew tells us that as soon as the wise men departed, then they were warned about Herod's edict. And so Joseph and Mary left for Egypt, which is a journey of over 100 miles. That's a long way. And so for them being so poor, they needed these precious gifts in order to help them as they left to escape to Egypt. So again, God is just providential in everything he does. It's amazing. So when we were thinking about a baby shower or a baby gift, do you have a favorite baby gift that you got back when you were having baby showers? Do you remember?
Oh, man.
Because I feel like when I go to baby showers today, I have no idea what any of this stuff is. It's all brand new.
No, there's so many cool
fancy
things
gadgets.
now. I know.
And honestly, now I look back and go, I didn't need half that stuff.
No, for sure. For sure. When I was coming up, the boppy was new and big.
Oh, the boppy.
And that was very handy
Do people
to
still
have.
get boppies?
I don't know. The little seat they could sit in that was like a squishy material that was real easy to move around. That was really nice to have. And then, by the time I had Caroline, we were doing nose Frida.
The nose Frida. We never had that.
The weirdest thing, but also so handy, to think that you would thank somebody so much for giving you a tube where you could suck snot out of your baby's nose, but it's a game changer.
Mary, would she have even known what to do with that thing?
The thing I never actually, somebody bought me like a wipes warmer.
Oh yeah.
And I used that for a little bit, but then it was like, okay, this is a lot to keep up with.
We didn't even have one of those.
Yeah,
we didn't. So I looked up as I was researching, what did women have for their babies back then? And so I actually read that they sometimes just left their babies without anything on the bottom.
Okay.
Because it was honestly too much work to clean. Can you imagine cleaning cloth from poopy
diapers?
diapers?
So then you're just walking around and cleaning pee and poop?
I know, but they would actually try and train their babies when to go.
Early?
Yes.
Girl.
Early potty training. And then I was trying to figure out about feeding because you don't have pouches or
Yeah.
And so they would create out of pottery these long, it was like a long, almost like a spout that you could take animal's milk and pour it into the baby's mouth, so not a bottle, so to say. I was trying to think. It was so different back then. In my mind, it seems harder. But was it simpler? Was it simpler?
Girl,
to just
can't you imagine? It's so much simpler because we're trying to get everybody in the minivan and get to the next thing, and we've got 55,000 things.
They're just hanging out at home.
They're at home, in their community, and that just simplifies a lot. You don't have to have all of this, to-go stuff. You don't need a pouch because you're at home with the food where it already is.
Yes. And the other thing that I think is so interesting, which I think some people think is weird, is they had wet nurses.
Yeah.
So if you couldn't breastfeed your baby, that's the only option.
Yeah.
There were women that actually were either had been nursing or having a baby that would nurse your baby for you.
Praise God for them. Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
I think I would have been weirded out by that early in my motherhood journey. Like, what? Now, I'm like, that is amazing that God can provide for another mother to feed someone's baby in need.
Yeah.
Like, that's
a huge gift.
That's a huge gift.
Yeah, it's a huge gift.
And that was their community. You relied on your neighbors for everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yep.
And now we don't do it.
No, and that's what you're saying is, and so you just become, self-sufficient. So you've got one of everything instead of just relying on the community to help provide stuff. Yeah.
No, I think partly when we think about gift giving, that is what gift giving is about, is meeting people's needs around you.
Yeah.
And so I know as moms, Christmas can be really hard for us because we have these big visions of what a good Christmas for our kids looks like. And obviously, as they get older, it gets harder because teenagers are not easy to buy for.
Yeah.
But I think we really need to try and reframe a good mom does not equal a big Christmas. Like, those two things don't have to go together. Because honestly, for many of us moms, I know I've experienced this many years, once Christmas morning is over, there's like this letdown.
Yes.
Of like, did I do enough? What if they didn't like something I bought and I took it personally? Or, there's so much anticipation up to Christmas morning and then it's just over. And it's kind of like, what do we do now? And I don't know about you, but for me, it was very much like a bitter taste in my mouth. It wasn't everything I thought it was going to be.
And is it ever like, I don't know, even if they had the best reaction ever, even if they, come into the room and they're like, and it's, maybe you have like a once in a lifetime moment like that where it was like something that they were, but I just think, I don't know, I hope I'm not about to like,
no, go.
But I just think that reminds us that it's, we're always going to be disappointed when we put our hope in the created thing instead of the creator.
Yeah.
So even on Christmas morning, if we've put all of our hope in the fact that these gifts are going to make our kids happy and, honestly, on the dark side of it, like, love us more.
Oh, agreed. Yeah. Mom, you're awesome.
Yeah.
This was awesome.
Yes. You know, if we ever are putting our hope into that for ourselves or our kids, we're going to feel disappointed.
Yeah. And I think it's the same for us too, personally. Like, even if you get the things that are on your Christmas wish list, there's still at the end of the day this like, oh, okay, well, it's over.
Yeah.
It's not lasting.
Yeah.
None of it is lasting. And so I think as moms, as we come into this Christmas season, we can keep a couple things in mind to help us reframe. Good mom does not equal big Christmas. Number one, start with your values, not your expectations. Like, what is your value for Christmas for your family? Is it to be together? Is it to have some memories? Is it to do for others? Because I think we go into Christmas and our value is, what are we going to buy? What are you going to get? What's on your Christmas wish list? And so that is framing it in this sense of stuff.
Yeah.
That's just going to disappear.
Yeah.
But if you go into it looking for the value of like, what does this mean for my family? Then I think when you get to the end of that, you can actually find a lot more joy in knowing that you accomplished that through the season instead of just getting to the day after Christmas and going, well, it's over. Part of that is rhythms. So I think just start thinking now of what kind of rhythms you want to have in your house. This catches me off guard every year. It's like I look forward to December, I get to December, and then it flies.
Yep.
And I didn't do anything I intended to do. So and don't go overboard on this. We're not talking 20 rhythms. We're talking like 2. Like once a week, we're going to sit down on the couch and talk about one part of the nativity story that's special or that I want my kids to know something else about. So we don't wait till the night before Christmas and then we shove it all in, Or, as soon as they get out of school, instead of going to the mall to Christmas shop, we're actually going to set aside a time to go bless someone.
Yeah.
We're just going to figure out someone that we can go do something for. Yeah. And go ahead and think now, because honestly, that's going to help you as you get closer and the schedule starts to pack tighter. Everything gets put on the calendar at the last minute. You already have a couple rhythms in place. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that. And I think if we can, whenever we have the opportunity to roll up the glory to the Creator and just keep teaching our children that, all these things that we're seeing are just a glimpse, are just a hint of the glory of His goodness. Like the reason we open gifts is because we are celebrating, Christ King, but we there will be a certain sense where we're kind of like, oh, that wasn't quite it. Okay, tell your soul that that's because there's something more coming. You know, this is just a glimpse of what that is. And so
Agreed.
if we can, you know, like all my kids know about Christmas, but I'm not going to say it in case we have little kids listening. But, you know, we still, like, my kids are 9, 14, and 17. They still want me to move the star. They still want us to be moving the star around and help creating that excitement. You know, we're still reading the stories. And like Rebecca said, if you just have a little Advent book or something like that where you're reading it once a week or, you know, the Bible app is so good, and there's a million Advent devotionals on there.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you're a Patreon member with Gather Moms, we have 3 Advent studies, and there's daily readings on there. And so you could go in and use one of those. But if there is something small where you can help keep your kids' eyes on Jesus, it will change the game.
Well, and for you, Mom, you need to take the guilt off your shoulders that you are somehow in charge of this magical season. And if you don't do it, nobody's going to do it. That's not what we're trying to do for our children, because they can't sustain that in their lifetime either. Instead of thinking about guilt, think about generosity. Every time you have the chance to be generous, how could I be generous today? How could I be generous with my time? How could I be generous with my money? If you're, you know, want to go out and help somebody financially, how could I be generous with just my prayers? Like, who could I be praying for this holiday season that might be experiencing a tough time? I think so much of the motivation for moms during this season is this guilt of like, well, their mom did that, so I should do this. Or my mom never did this for me when I was a kid, so I'm going to do it for my kids.
Very real.
Or I want them to get to the end of the season and be like, my mom's the best mom ever. That's total guilt of like, I want my kids to love me more. Yeah. And I've tried it. I mean, 100%, I've been there, done that. We've tried to do all the expensive things, and at the end of the season, you're just broke.
Broke and just, I don't know, resentful?
Resentful, yes.
Yeah.
Bitter, because you put like effort into something that didn't work.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, be generous. And this is where I think you get your kids involved and you say, hey guys, this season we're going to be generous. Mm-hmm. So let's start thinking about how we can be generous and invite your children to join you in that. Is there someone at your school that you'd like for us to be generous to? Is there a ministry or an organization or a church nearby that could use our time or our money or our efforts to be generous? I know my son that's in college at DBU, Dallas Baptist University, that's in Dallas, Texas. He works with an organization called Youth World in downtown Dallas, and they reach inner city kids. They have 1,000 opportunities to love on these kids. And so the other day he called us and said, hey, Mom, Dad, do you want to participate in this specific thing? I mean, the easiest yes. The easiest yes, because that is giving outside of myself to somebody else. Yeah. And I can take my kids with me. So the whole family gets to go and participate in this moment. And if it's less money for us to, like, I don't know, go to Starbucks or go to, you know, some big Christmas production, honestly, it's money better spent.
Don't you think they're going to remember that more
100%.
Than the Lego set they got or, you know, even the trip to the Christmas tree farm, which honestly, I think those experiences are probably great.
Yes, fun.
But any time that you can serve together as a family, it really shifts the dynamic and in a way that you can't do any other way.
No, and I think if you're a mom of littles, this feels hard because they're little.
Sure.
And you can't do some of these things as easily. Yeah. Do not get down on yourself. You have years ahead of you to do this. Think of something simple at home that you can do.
Absolutely.
Make a Christmas card for a neighbor. Bake a cookie. That's decorate. Great. Don't feel like you have to go big when they're little like this, because I think it's been easier for me to incorporate my kids as they've gotten older.
Absolutely.
So those moments are coming for you. For right now, you talk about Jesus, you talk about the nativity story, and you just help them to be kind to their little friend at preschool, you know, and you can do that. For people that love to give gifts, I do think I find a lot of joy in finding the perfect gift, but I will say this, the perfect gift probably doesn't exist. And so as much as you think, like even for my kids, like, oh, I nailed it this year, there's usually a couple things that they're like, oh yeah, I don't, and you know, so just know going into it that gift giving is a joy because it's something you love doing, not because you're like expecting this big return on it from the person, you know, sitting across from you opening that present. And if gifts are not your thing, then just think about ways to take care of other people during this holiday season. We cannot forget. That's why I like to believe there were people around Mary when she had baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I just cannot imagine that in a community they were all about helping each other, because you had to, that there was not some sweet mom down the road that obviously heard her labor pains and did not come.
No, absolutely.
And bring hot water or a blanket.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're meant to do, is take care of each other. And so I have to believe that was there at that first Christmas with Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus. I know that when the Magi brought those expensive gifts, that was God's way of proclaiming, this is royalty. This is the king to come. He was showering his son with these royal gifts. But it doesn't mean that we have to do that every year. Sometimes you just go simple.
Yeah.
Just be simple this year.
Yes.
Moms, we love you. We are so excited that we got to celebrate our first Christmas episode with you. We can't wait to give you lots of gifts. Even though gifts is not the reason for the season, we're going to give them to you. And then we can't wait to be back with you for our next Christmas episode. So, love you, moms.
Love you, Mom. See you
Bye.
next time.